feature
Situation
where you have to hit go live on that.
So we're doing it ourselves.
Okay.
So now we're
But
live
we've
on
had some
everything.
technical difficulties,
Yep.
so we're trying to get through it.
Yep. But you didn't select the meeting.
But we're
last
saving
week.
a lot
That's why
by
it's still
not
there, 'cause it
paying
goes live
somebody.
when
You
you're
know what
done.
I did? I got out of that, that's where it ended, and I did, Jennifer and I did click on it,
Oh,
but
that's
it never
interesting.
took.
Okay, because
Yeah.
usually once it's gone, once you hit stop streaming, then it's done and over with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're gonna get rolling. We'll let Denny say goodbye. Hello, or?
You say goodbye, and I say.
I'm gonna just take a couple pictures.
Yeah, we should. For sure. I'll take them with you guys, because I don't need to be in them. All of you, right? I said I'll take the pictures of all of you. I don't need to be in them.
Okay.
So, you know, all of you.
Afterwards, just take one group picture.
Thank you, Mr. Whedon. And Mrs. Whedon, tell her thank you.
I was wondering who gave me 3.
So I ended up with 50 of these. Okay, Mr. Senior.
Sure, try.
I had 2 from you, 1 from Mary.
Okay.
Call of the wild.
That's why I don't put that stuff.
No, I actually.
All right, whenever you're ready, Denny. It's 7:02. We don't want you to be late for your last meeting.
Does he need a water for now? I don't know if he needs another water.
Will be recorded on the YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Denny, let me just get a.
We're already live. We wanted to make sure it was working, so we're just waiting to, oh, here, let me,
Ready?
Mr. Lindo, official business.
Cheese. Cheese.
Oh, don't get me.
No,
I
okay.
look at where to pull.
We'll get all of you at the end.
Right.
Don't run off, Gloria and Denny, because at the end, we'll get all of you. Mary, I figured out my whistle. It was this phone. Like last time I realized it was the phone, so I unplugged it and it went away.
I don't blame you.
My dog whistle I kept hearing.
You got good reason to be paranoid.
Yeah, I unplugged this because my dog whistle I kept hearing last time was this.
Okay,
So, just remind me to plug it in.
I knew it wasn't mine.
whenever you're ready, Ken.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you.
Council ready? Okay. Good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to the Committee of the Whole meeting of the Village of Walton Hills of Tuesday, December 21st, 2021 at 7:04 p.m. Roll call?
No pledge allegiance.
What's it?
Pledge allegiance.
No, I'm doing the Committee of the Whole
Oh,
right now.
my wrong one's on top over here, sorry.
You're getting ahead of me.
I am, I had the wrong one in front of me. Councilwoman Allen,
Here.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller.
Here.
Councilman Linville.
Present.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Here.
Councilman Whedon.
Here.
Councilwoman Terlasky.
Here.
All of council present, along with our fiscal officer, Angela Reve, and our law solicitor, John Montello. Okay, item 3, motion to receive and file COW meeting minutes as follows.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to file and receive the COW meeting minutes of September 7th, 2021.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mary Brenner Miller.
Councilwoman Allen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller.
Yes.
Councilman Linville.
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon.
Yes.
Councilwoman Terlasky.
Yes.
Okay, minutes approved, 6-0. Item B, is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to accept the meeting minutes from September 14th, 2021, COW meeting minutes of September 14th, 2021.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Linville.
Councilwoman Allen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller.
Yes.
Councilman Linville.
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon.
Yes.
Councilwoman Terlasky.
Yes.
Okay, minutes passed, 6-0. Item C, is there a motion?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we receive and file the COW meeting minutes of October 5th, 2021.
Is there a second?
Second.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller?
Yes.
Councilman Linville?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Councilwoman Chulowski?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Minutes passed, 6-0. Item D, is there a motion?
Mayor Colgraf, I move that we would accept accept the minutes from the October 12th, 2021 Committee of the Whole meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Linville.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller?
Yes.
Councilman Linville?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Councilwoman Chulowski?
Yes.
Okay. Item E,
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we receive and file the COW meeting minutes from October 18th or 19th, 2021.
is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jennifer Allen.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller?
Yes.
Councilman Linville?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Councilwoman Chulowski?
Yes.
Okay, minutes passed, 6-0. Last set of minutes, item F,
Gloria.
is there a motion?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we receive and file the COW meeting minutes of November 9th, 2021.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Gloria.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller?
Yes.
Councilman Linville?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Councilwoman Chulowski?
Yes.
Okay, minutes passed, 6-0. Thank you, everybody. At this time, we can have comments related to agenda items or any other comments from residents. Does anybody have any comments?
Oh,
there?
get to my page, I'm sorry, I'm sitting on the wrong one. No, nothing yet.
Okay. Hopefully that's going well.
Should be fine. Oops.
Okay. Any comments from any residents? Sure. Okay. Yeah, I use the mic, so I get, that way we pick it up.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen of council. My name is Doug Miller. I'm a new resident here. I live on East Lake Drive, directly across the street here in Alexander.
Yeah.
That is my beautiful wife, Shannon.
Welcome.
We
Hi,
love our
Shannon.
community. We've been here since February. It's fantastic. I know we have a lot of things on our plate here as a council. One thing that is particular to me, and I think a lot of other people, are the camera tickets that are in place here in the village. Of course, I got one. Probably have a couple. And you notice my beautiful Jeep right there. The unfortunate thing is 1 in 4 of your traffic tickets are incorrect. The wrong person's driving this morning. My wife is driving the kids to school because my car is the last car inside the driveway. And yet, I got the ticket. This happens to many of your residents who have family and friends that come here to visit. That's just one of the issues I have with these tickets. And I'm not sure how much time I have, Mr. Mayor. How much time do I have, so I know in advance?
Well, we've been letting people say their piece, so we,
Got less than an hour then. No
we
problem.
might change it. Council has talked to me about changing it the first of the year, so go ahead
It should
and,
be less than 10 minutes or 8 minutes or so, if that's okay with everybody. I'd like to go over a few things. Okay, camera tickets. Just because the state of Ohio and many other states say that they are legal, doesn't mean that it's right. I think it's poor taste for our village to have it. When you say the word Lindale, what do you think of? When you say the word Newburgh Heights, what do you think of? It's poor taste, in my opinion, and many others. So, 1 out of 4 tickets I just brought up, 1 out of 4 tickets are incorrect, that you're giving out, that you're issuing. The burden on the innocent. So photo enforcement electronics are often left unattended and vulnerable. Your cameras are out in the elements, 24/7, 365. And we can have a company that comes out once a year, takes the box apart, looks at it, and puts a little signature on there, and then it's good to go. But that's unfair. It should be checked daily. Those things have to be checked daily, not just an internal check. As a prior law enforcement officer, I teach this through academies throughout the state. You have to check these things daily, because you wouldn't want to get a ticket if it wasn't checked correctly by an officer. I am a firm believer that we have law enforcement officers to stop and slow our people down. Giving tickets is not how you change behavior. You give tickets to change behavior when other means have failed. I also would say that it challenges our 6th Amendment to bear witness. Somebody has to bear witness to me driving my car, and in this case, my wife driving the car. It's totally wrong. You got it completely wrong. But we're still going to send these tickets out day after day. I'm saying hundreds a day, more than likely. All right, even when you win, you lose in your camera ticket court. Then I gotta take time off from work. I have to travel back here. And I would venture to say that many of the people you ticket are coming to that casino, and you're taking the money right out of their pocket. When they come into our village, they make their left onto Northfield. But you're taking their money because they're only in your village for less than 2/10 of a mile. And I believe that's unfair. Less safe. The studies have it, and I don't have the exact numbers here and who did them, but according to a couple places I looked at, you increase accidents with these tickets because people see the sign or see the camera slam on their brakes, and it causes more issues than it does to fix them. Lack of audit and oversight. I mentioned that just a little bit ago. A private company sold you those cameras, and they maintain them. Do you know where they're from? You know what country they're out of?
China.
Sweden. We're sending your money. You probably made a deal, and I'll ask the fiscal officer later on. I've got several questions for her. You're sending whatever proceeds, half of these proceeds to these camera tickets to Sweden. That is the company that runs your stuff. Conflict of interest. Ladies and gentlemen, I realize it's tough out here, and I know you have a budget, and I know it's hurting. I understand that. But to place that burden on the backs of people with these camera tickets is not the right way to do it. There's other ways for you to build the coffers of the village of Walton Hills. Denial of due process, I brought that up just a little bit ago, your Sixth Amendment. You have a right to be confronted by witnesses before you're charged. And I realize we've turned this into civil. Okay, I understand that. No points are charged, I do understand that as well. Once again, lawful but awful, and I think it's poor taste. It affects consumer spending and tourism. Probably not here, but according to national inquiries, it affects consumer spending and tourism. But I don't want people to say, Walton Hills, aren't you those guys with those camera tickets? I don't want to be in line with Lindale and everybody else. Lucrative photo enforcement favored over engineering. Cities rarely conduct engineering studies to determine why there's traffic crashes. What we'll do is, as a council, and I'm not saying individually anybody's saying this, but in general, you'll say it's for safety. Okay, but where can you cite that from? There's no studies out there that say it's better for you. It's for you to feel better about having these camera tickets. And that's the general consensus of it. It does not remove any immediate threats of drunk drivers. None. Zero. Zero drunk drivers are caught with those. Reckless drivers are not caught with those. There's just speeders. So it creates distrust and animosity for local officials, law enforcement, and makes a mockery of our judicial system. For the third time, I'll say it is poor taste for us to use these cameras. I have a few questions, and then I'll be finished. I know we can't answer them tonight, but I would expect an email or some sort of communication from the fiscal officer or somebody in reference to these cameras.
Sir?
Yes, sir.
Doug, and we're gonna start thing, you can submit a records request.
Sure. So
Well,
that's not my next
the
question.
process we're gonna start using. It was brought up, and every time I bring it up, one of our council members brought it up and things passed, because,
And the auditors,
you know, because, and the auditor wants us to have records of that.
No problem, I will do that. I was trying to do it on a
I
less,
appreciate
professional or, professional way.
Thank you.
Just a few questions though that I will have, and then I'll be done with you guys this evening, and thank you very much for your time in advance. I'd like to know how many tickets are given out daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. An average would be fine. How many people actually pay these tickets? How much revenue has the Village of Walton Hills gained from your 2 traffic camera tickets this year to date? And what is the arrangement that we have with the traffic company? How much money are they receiving from us? How long is the contract in place with the maintenance company? And which council members, I would eventually like to know, which ones is there any council members here that are willing to throw their rank on the table now and say that they disagree with these traffic cameras? Does everybody agree with traffic cameras?
I do.
I do.
I don't agree with them.
And you're leaving, Denny, that's unfortunate.
I'm sorry?
And then you're leaving, so that's
Yeah,
unfortunate.
Yeah.
And Doug, you know where I stand, me and you had a conversation.
Yes, I do understand that. How many council members here have gotten a ticket, or a family member has, and you've went around the back way and said, hey, can you guys take care of this for me? I'm not saying it's happened, but it's possible. So my question, that is everything. So in conclusion, I'll be finished. In conclusion, it's my hope to get rid of these unconstitutional, burdensome cameras. I believe we have police officers that use discretion. Discretion is, if I'm speeding to get my kids to school and I haven't had a ticket in 5 years, that officer can say, hey, you need to slow down, I'm not gonna give you a ticket today. You're taking that away from our officers here that work for you. Once again, it's poor taste. I don't want to be another Lindale or Newburgh Heights. I thank you all very much, and if you have any questions for me or comments, I'm willing to hear them as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Council have anything?
Thank
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Sir, what's your name again? I'm sorry.
My name is Doug Miller, sir, just like the beer.
Doug Miller.
Doug Miller.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
You said you have 4 tickets?
I don't know, a couple. I have somewhere around the house. I'm not paying them.
You're not gonna pay them?
No, ma'am.
And
It's a
what-
civil thing.
What
and,
was the speeding?
I
what
was
the-
13 miles and over on one of them, I believe. I don't know the exact numbers on the others.
Okay, so what is ours, 42 miles over?
40,
11, starts $100, and then we continue on adding late fees, and the population today can't handle these late fees and stress that you guys are doing with these cameras. My goal is to one day bring this to a vote, so I'll be looking to try to get that done. Thank you very much.
What street do you live on?
I live on Lake Drive, so right across from you. I meet you at the
Oh, okay.
mailbox.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yes, sir.
okay.
And you're a
East
former
Lake
police
Drive.
officer?
I'm a
You
retired
said
police
that.
officer, yes.
Okay. You know about the history of police officers are killed, and most of them are with traffic stops and that.
Ma'am, I've pulled dead bodies out of cars my whole career. I worked 8 years in East Cleveland. I understand what you're saying, but we have the beautiful flag you have here, a Pledge of Allegiance, and then we're going against all those things. The Sixth Amendment is a right to bear witness. There's no witness besides a police officer looking at a camera and signing hundreds of tickets a day, and sending them out and putting it on the backs of us. And I know we're hurting for money, but that's the wrong way to do it, my opinion.
And you have children in the car and you're speeding.
Man, those cameras aren't proven to slow people down. They're proven to cause more accidents. But if it's understood, like, we disagree, man, and that's fine. You guys have a great night.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Mayor?
Thank you. Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to know, did the chief get in touch with you?
Absolutely. I would like you to know that.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor and Chief, both of them. Great cursory information I got from both of them. They did a fantastic job, and thank you for that.
Okay, I just want to let you know too, Mr.
Hey,
Miller.
you punted me right to the chief. That was fine.
No, that's okay, because he was the one that would be able to get you that calibration
That's
information.
understandable, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Sure, but just, I will answer one of your questions about family that's gotten a ticket. Yes, my brother's gotten a ticket for doing 52. He said, what can I do? I said, pay it. And unfortunately, I had a close family friend that got a ticket for doing 50, and they were coming to my house to fix my refrigerator for free. And I had them pay that
Here,
too.
you can pass these down. Sorry I didn't bring enough. I didn't know we had this many council people.
Just to let everybody know, just so you know, we do have an appeal process here in Walton
Right.
Hills.
That's what I'll be working with next.
So anybody that disagrees with the ticket has a right to come in front of a magistrate and give their plea, as you would say, maybe they had an emergency or something like that, and the magistrate can make a decision on it, whether they reduce it or whatever. So we do, it's not a one and done, there is an appeal process.
That takes time to come to, Mayor. It takes time to come off.
I'm just making a point, Doug, that there is an avenue. It's,
Understood.
I don't want it to be left out, I'm not saying you, but left out there that you get the ticket, you have to pay it. There is an appeal process in place. The reason I'd like to say, because a lot of people don't know that, okay? Even though it's written on the ticket and stuff, we like to make that clear that there is an appeal process that a person can follow.
Mr. Mayor?
Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Yeah, listen, I'd like to know too that those cameras do not discriminate, okay? Because I got 2 tickets, and I paid both of them. All right, and they didn't care less that I was a councilman, really. Thank
Mr.
you.
Mayor?
Yes.
Yeah, first of all, welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
Very nice to have you, and looking forward to seeing you on our social events and down at the lake and all that. Welcome.
Thanks.
Just to answer, from my point of view, a couple of your things. I'm going to kind of take this off, if you don't mind, just so it's not muffled. Family members of mine have gotten tickets. If you look at that ticket, some communities, you are guilty until proven innocent. You have to send your money in first before you can even get a hearing. That's not like that with us. We don't do that. I've had one of my children get 2 tickets in my car. It came to me, and there's a thing that you can write on the back that says, I was not the driver of this car, which I did, and My child learned very quickly that it could be expensive to drive a car because they paid the tickets, both of them. And my mother-in-law got a ticket, and my brother-in-law got a ticket. And my mother-in-law called me, and, well, her main concern was if it was going on her record, but they both paid the tickets. So when you say 1 out of 4 tickets are wrong, there is an avenue. If you are not the driver of the vehicle, it does go to the vehicle owner like any other ticket would do. I would not be in favor of stoplight cameras, because I used to, for a while years ago, be in Chicago a lot. And they have stoplight cameras there. And what they do, along with wanting your money prior to you even going to court, is you stop and then you scoot up to look at traffic and it takes your picture.
That's up on the list.
So I am totally against those, and I would not ever vote for stoplight cameras. There are flaws. Well, now you mentioned bear witness. I will give you the example of videotaping a robbery. If you're a business owner, you have security cameras, or you're a resident and you have security cameras, and someone comes up to your house and robs your house, and you've got them clearly on camera. So that camera is still a camera. So when you say bear witness, are you saying throw that out too?
No, we have a judge that decides that evidence is admissible in the court process.
And you are allowed to come before our magistrate and state your claim.
Actually,
And
go to Garfield Municipal Court before the municipal court judge. We
Yeah.
no longer.
Yeah, we changed that.
yeah.
Janice just oversees it.
Oh, okay, Janice, so, but you are allowed to come and state your case, and they're very amenable to listening to any circumstances. Now, on Alexander Road, you did mention safety. We've busted people for doing 70, 80, 90 miles an hour or more on Alexander Road at night. And Miss Allen lives on Alexander Road with kids. So, yeah, so I would, very respectfully disagree with you on the safety. We don't have the money to hire. I wish we did. If it were up to me, I'd put a cop on every corner of the street, if it were up to me. And I've said that before. Well, I would. I would, because I don't like pulling in my driveway and locking my car. I don't like doing that.
I think we'd all agree we'd rather be stopped by a police officer and have their discretion, or I can do
Well,
everything right there.
Mr. Miller,
well,
we
but-
need you to be at the
Yeah,
microphone, please,
and
because
I don't
it's
want
being-
to
But she's
debate.
still talking, so.
Yeah, I don't want to debate. I just want to get some of these things out. Yeah, and that's what, you can come and you can request that the magistrate hear that discussion, and you can have
Judge,
that,
actually.
or the judge. You can have that discussion, and again, they are very amenable. But the fact is, and we've been written before by other people who have written us, so this isn't, you're not the first person.
Sure.
But the fact of the matter is, you still were speeding.
Sure.
And so were my family members.
I
You
wasn't.
were speeding.
My wife was.
Okay, well, the
So-
person driving your car was
Listen, I didn't want this to turn into
No, it's
we don't
not.
like Doug Miller doesn't like the council. We
No.
have a disagreement. The world
Right.
is too much against each other personally. I have nothing against any of
Right.
them. I personally do not like these cameras, and I will do everything I can to get rid of them. Nothing personal. I don't want it to turn into that.
Oh, no, and it's
So,
not.
I thank you very much
Appreciate
for your
your
time,
time.
and I'll step from the mic.
Thank you,
And
sir.
thank you very much.
No, and Mr. Miller, just so you know, I asked you to step to the mic because everything has to be recorded.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I asked you, so.
Understood, ma'am. Thank you very much.
And Doug, just so you know, when you're in this position, we defend our stance no different than you defend your
Of
stance.
course.
But we also know, at the end of the day, we all walk out the same door together.
That's exactly right.
We're all
I appreciate your
neighbors.
time, and thank you very much.
Yeah.
Welcome again.
May I, Mayor? For a minute?
Huh?
May I?
What's it to do?
Just cameras.
No, just. Thank you. What's that?
Danny wants to come to the mic.
You can make a comment. You're next, yeah. That's up to him whether he wants to stay or not. I can't have Doug stay if he doesn't want to.
Denny Harkeye, 7120 Hickory Drive. I got stopped by a police officer for speeding. I was speeding. I reached in my wallet when he asked for my driver's license. I pulled up my driver's license, and along with my driver's license, I handed him 2 FOP cards, one from a very close personal friend who's as much of a brother as my real brother, and one from a son-in-law who served the Marine Corps and ended up as a sergeant major, and now he's a SWAT man as far as law enforcement. The officer said to me, "Mr. Harkeye, you have a friend and a family member who are police officers?" I said, "Yes, sir." You know what he said to me? "You ought to know better." And then, you know what he did? He wrote me a ticket. And I'm going to say, anybody that knows our law and is disobeying our laws should know better, and if they get a ticket, in my opinion, they deserve it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I have law enforcement officer.
Thank you. Any other residents have anything? Come on up, Jim.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. James Conkey, resident Walton Hills with my wife Gilda behind me. We are on the end of Somerset Drive.
What did he say his name was, Mary?
James Conkey. Conkey, C-O-N-K-E-Y.
Denny was just asking for your name.
That's
Jim,
fine.
so.
I had one complaint, but it's kind of escalated. The complaint was against 7801 Somerset. Owner of the property is Fred. The amount of scrap, debris, trash cans, and everything in front of his house. I know it's been an ongoing thing. It was introduced to me that the village did something about it prior to me moving in. June, July, we made a formal complaint to Lisa. Lisa took the information, said it's a process, we have to go through the process. Around September, my wife had the opportunity to speak to Rob. Rob informed her that it's a process, we have to give notification, we have to give a certified letter, and this is all gonna take time. Understand that. I have made 2 calls to Rob since then, since September. Left a voice message, left a phone number, and the reason why, and Rob has failed to call me back. On the 3rd time, I was able to, in November, speak to Lisa. Lisa said, "Well, let me run you into voice message." I said, "No, Lisa, it doesn't work. Please write him a note." He refuses to give me a call back. So my concern one is, how are we moving forward to get this piece of property cleared up? And the second concern, which is more disturbing to me, who does Rob answer to? Does he answer to the village? Does Rob work for me? Evidently he doesn't, because he cannot. I do know, I'm a commercial plumber. If I have a customer call me, it is my responsibility as a human being and the guy representing my company to return the call. I don't have to like it, but I can at least say, "Yes, Mr. Smith, thank you very much. This is the direction we're going." I haven't gotten that. Those are my 2 issues. Any questions for me, so I don't hold you guys up tonight?
No, but I'll answer that, Jim Elliott. With that said, let's take it off record. I'd like to make an appointment with you,
Yes, sir.
and we can meet and discuss the issue.
That'd be
And I
fine.
can kind of tell you where it's at, and we can talk
Okay.
about it. I think that'd be the fairest thing. And I
That's
think-
all I've asked. I mean, I went down the road to the village, going the path that I knew how to go,
Right.
reach out to our service department, and now I'm standing here. I'm
Okay,
asking
well, I
for-
apologize
I'm
for
asking
that.
help.
I apologize for that, but let's take it off, and I'll follow up with a call tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
I don't know, is your number in the directory, or Lisa has your number then? We should have it.
Not I probably.
Okay. Okay, I will follow up with you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
I
thank
did.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Mr.
any
Mayor?
other residents have an issue before council?
No, but I have a comment.
Yes, go ahead.
You mentioned Rob.
Yes,
Okay, today's my last day here. I've been here 12 years sitting here.
thank you for your time here.
That's the first time I ever heard Rob has not made a call back. That man does everything he can possibly do to fix the situation. And I bet my council will nod their head the same. This man does his job, and there's gotta be a reason why he did not call you back, because he's a good man.
Him talking to me about the reason. I have not been able to get to that level.
Well, as the
Okay.
mayor said, he will.
I will follow this. Any other residents have anything before council? Anybody on?
We've got people on, but no comments.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll move on to talking about what's on the agenda. We have legislation, ordinance 2021-20. That's December 2021, revised 260.18 payroll ordinance. Angela, do you want to kind of give a brief description of what that is about?
Yeah, absolutely. This is our payroll ordinance for all general employees of the village. Does not include the mayor. And each year, we do need to look at this as we decide to award a COLA increase of any kind, or if there were to be any kind of merit increase, we need to look at this and revisit it to make sure that these pay ranges are not going to be exceeded, so that we've got, an ordinance covering where everybody's at with their pay. So we did a little bit of catching up on that, because we did agree to award a 1.75% increase to all employees this year. So I did some of that, and then we did also have some discussions about how low our pay was relative to other governments for a couple positions on here. If you need me to say which positions, I'm happy to do that. So we've adjusted a couple of them just to bring the pay back to fair, because as we've all seen during the pandemic, fast food restaurants are paying a little bit more than some of these.
Yeah, you can mention it if
Yeah.
you want, so council members, that's fine.
One being our part-time auxiliaries. They were going to, actually, they needed the adjustment based on the increase anyway. And we do feel that, from time to time, these auxiliaries are here when we need them. And they do step in for a lot of things, funeral escorts, anything we ask, they're there. Court. So we did increase that to give us a little bit of a buffer in case we would like to award a merit increase for them. Another one that we had changed for that purpose, we were looking for Rob's requests on our budget next year to potentially have a part-time helper or either that or a seasonal helper for the service department. So both of those were falling kind of well below where we would potentially be able to even attract someone to work for us. So we adjusted that higher wage a little bit on there. Starting wage stayed the same. And then we also needed to adjust.
I'm sorry, Angela,
Yes.
that was labor seasonal?
We did labor
talked
seasonal, I
about-
believe, and labor part-time.
Labor part-time,
Both.
labor seasonal.
Okay, and then in terms of needing to adjust things just to bring it fair, our drivers who are transporting our most vulnerable residents that need rides to doctor's appointments and things, their cap was originally, it was an $11 to $13 an hour range. They have come through so well for us during the pandemic. Our residents enjoy their rides with them. They feel comfortable with them. So we raised that up a little bit, just giving us some room to give a merit increase. And then the last thing we also did was for our park and recreation aides. We took that higher end from 13 to 16 because we do have some that will probably be returning this year. And last year we had a couple college kids not return because they were able to go make more somewhere else. So that will just kind of help us to continue to attract the best talent and keep the best talent here that we have for the village. Any questions?
And those were all part-time positions where those adjustments were
Correct.
made.
Correct.
It doesn't mean they're automatically gonna get it, just
Right.
the range is.
Gives us a buffer to not have to revisit this every 5 minutes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
I just want to reiterate the point that it's the top of the pay that we
Yes,
changed.
it's the top of the
It's
pay.
just the top of the pay.
The only adjustments I made to a couple positions on bottom of pay was because of the new minimum wage. So for example, finance clerk part-time or full-time used to be at like $8, $10 an hour starting. Well, minimum wage is going up for 2022. So I just adjusted those few, I think there were 3 or 4 that needed to come in line with minimum wage. But we have not changed the lower end of any of the pays on this particular document.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead, Joe.
I would like to introduce this at the council meeting.
Go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, Mayor Colgraf, members of the council, just want to speak into the record, Angela, been excused on last week when council had a discussion that we were going to recommend these changes, but also that longer term, village administration would look into in the very near future, in early 2022, a more comprehensive classification and compensation analysis or study, whichever is the right way to see, how well we align with all of our positions and whether or not all of them perhaps are even necessary at this time. So I just want to make sure we put that on the record that yes, we have these few items tonight, but we also are looking more comprehensively at a more thorough analysis of our classifications and compensation.
Mhm.
Correct. That is something we did talk about and agreed to do. Any other questions from council related to this ordinance 2021-20? Okay, Jennifer's going to introduce it. Forced suspension?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Any questions from the residents related to that ordinance? Okay.
We did just have one comment. Mr. Miller's very quick about getting on his computer. He said, Doug Miller, thank you for hearing me out this evening. Merry Christmas to you all.
Thank you.
Same to you.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, then we'll move on to item B, ordinance 2021-21, permanent appropriations for 2022. That is our budget. Angela, you want to talk a little bit about that? I know we've been spending quite a bit of time. One COW meeting, we went line for line, I think, for about 3.5 hours. There wasn't, you made one change, did you, or just a correction?
So in between the first meeting that we had, Councilwoman Allen had called me during the week to remind me that I had not put on the $10,000 roughly. We need to get new weapons next year, and we do get some trade-in value on our old weapons. And Chief Jaworski had brought that up, and we had him at a COW. So I had forgotten about that. So that is the only change I made from the final. We had a couple other little incidental things that we needed to change between the meeting on the 6th and then the last week when I wasn't here. So I did those changes and had sent them out to council so that you'd have them for last week. But the only other big one was that 10,000 that got added. So in this week's, what you're looking at, there's a $10,000 increase from last week's version of the legislation to account for those weapons. And that would be listed under security of persons or property other.
Any questions?
On your actual legislation, that's where it's at. So, and it's under equipment, if you're gonna look at it in the actual, Report 52 style of the budget.
Could you repeat where that 10,000?
Yeah, if you're looking at the Report 52 version of the budget that we went line by line through, that should be under equipment for police.
No, did you say, I'm looking at the ordinance, did you say?
Oh,
In the
Everything.
ordinance, it should be right here under security of persons and property other.
That's, that line, well, on the line I'm saying, or someone says $1,500.
No, right at the very top of the general fund, security of property or persons other, it's $818,070.
No, I'm looking, maybe I have a different version.
Oh, this is my old one.
That's your old one.
That's my old one, because
So
that's when you put
second
the
line down right
10,000.
here.
Yeah.
Are you got what I'm talking about, Jennifer? You see what I see?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have
Mine
that
says
one.
818.
Okay, you're
Mine
good.
says 818.
Can you help, Mr. Weeden? Do you have what we're looking at? Second line down under general fund there. Went
Yeah,
from-
mine's.
Went from
yeah.
808 to
Ray, are you
818.
looking at the one with the initials on it?
Right there.
There it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So now that increases the total of the bottom line here for total general fund appropriations and then the overall total by 10,000 from the previous week.
Because last week it was
It was our-
10,000
yeah,
less because
it-
of the weapons.
Correct, and I had already
Right.
drafted everything for you, so I agreed we'd change it in between.
Like I got my last the COW meeting last week, and it's at 8:08:07.
Okay, all right.
There they are taping us again.
Sounds like a sink running.
Somebody got their cell phone close?
No. Oh.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
just like I did last week, but just for the residents, we weren't streaming last week. If Angela can help me out here, to put this in a nutshell, for the residents, just so they know where we're at. This budget has, or proposed budget has a balance, we're in the black.
Correct.
In this budget of a little over $223,000 for next year.
Yes.
And it includes items such as paying down $140,000 in debt, our road program for the Horseshoe, which is Tulip,
Hickory and
Hickory and
Chestnut.
Chestnut. There's a new police server in there, which is quite expensive, $10,000 worth. We've got a part-time person scheduled in there to help out the fiscal department, a part-time person for the service department. And help me out.
Dump
what
truck.
else?
A chipper?
A chipper and one police car.
And a
Dump
dump truck.
And a
New
dump
dump truck, $175,000 would be our
Police car.
part.
And a police
And
car.
a new police car. And, of course, COLA, or wouldn't call it a COLA raise for the employees, would you?
A 1.7.
This has the
1.75.
1.75 included, correct.
So, a raise,
Yes, it's a
much needed
that's
raise
a-
for the employees. They don't get raises nearly as often as they should. We don't give raises every year to our employees just because we've been fiscally unable to do so. So, it's a well-deserved raise. And as of the last, analysis that was done by an outside firm, which was 5 years ago, we spoke last meeting, most all of our departments make a lot less than other communities, like communities, in Ohio. We discussed last week, having another analysis done by our, HR, department, and see where we fall there. But this has some good, some pretty big expenditures on it, but we've been able to maintain our fiscal responsibility and still end up in the black for next year, which hopefully it'll stay that way and nothing dramatic's gonna happen. Something always does happen. It's just like your own house. You don't plan on your washer and dryer breaking, but it does. Things like that. So we're on a good trajectory. Thank you.
Thank you. I think it's a good budget. It's another conservative budget, and our department heads do a good job of staying within it. So I thank them for that. And Angela does a good job of making sure they stay within it. So, any questions? Any more questions related to that
We went through
item?
it.
Okay. Who would like to introduce it for suspension?
Mr. Mayor, I'll introduce you for
Okay.
suspension.
Did you want to, Gloria? I mean,
Did you?
okay.
I don't want to take it away. I'll second it.
Okay. All right, Mary. Any questions from the residents? Yeah, you can come up to the mic.
Nothing from the live stream right
Nothing
now.
from the live stream right now? Okay.
Kenny Hark, I-7120 Hickory Drive. I personally would like it very much if everybody in the entire world knew that Walton Hills was a place that enforces all of their laws equally for everybody. I think that's terrific if we do it, and anybody that wants to enforce our laws certainly has my support.
Thank you.
Any other comments from any residents before we move on to the council meeting? Anything?
Nothing on the live stream.
Okay, council, good? I have nothing for other business under the COW meeting. I know we just kind of wanted to have it, Angela wasn't here last week. Of course, she was here for all the budget meetings that we went through, and I know she herself and myself wanted just to make sure everybody was clear with these couple items. So, if not, I'd like to ask for adjournment of the COW meeting.
I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting of December the 21st, is it today?
Yes, it is.
At 19:43 hours.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jennifer Allen. Vote on the motion.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller?
Yes.
Councilman Linville?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel?
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Councilwoman Terlasky?
Okay,
I would just
committee
like
of,
to say, I enjoyed serving with,
we got the council meeting yet.
I'm sorry?
We got the
Yeah, one
council
more
meeting.
Yes, yes.
Save it.
Save it.
She wants to get out of here.
She really wants
Are we that bad, Gloria?
Oh, you have two, we all have two. And the reason why-
Meeting adjourned. Does anybody want to take a break for a minute, or are you ready to go right in?
Let's just keep going.
What?
Meeting?
Go to Beth?
Yeah.
Yeah, you weren't.
Go to Beth? Go ahead, Danny. I mean, you don't have to ask me to do that. We're gonna wait for you though, Denny, because we're not gonna start until you come back. If anybody wants a water or anything,
I know.
okay?
I thought you jumped in.
None of that. All
I
right.
know, I think they were gonna say something, I thought, well, I'll just do it.
What I need. See, here's the.
Yes, I
Oh,
know.
you did that to me,
Raise it
that's
back.
why. Okay. You're the one that gave me this separate.
I gave you
I
that.
know.
All right. I'm gonna quickly go through
I know.
the legislation, so we can.
Too late.
Come on.
She could have knocked me out. I said she can do it, I don't care. I got more to go. Right.
I need my.
Oh, excuse me. So what are you doing for Christmas?
I don't know what we're doing, 'cause my dad's sick.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What's wrong?
He's hopefully just a head cold or something, but, so he's trying to get in touch with his doctor, to find out what to do. 'Cause he's had
Did he
really
test?
low
Does he know?
That's what he's trying to get in touch with his doctor.
How you doing, Jeff? Good.
Last thing I heard.
So
my
you don't
mom
Fred?
wanna, you don't
said-
wanna go
my
now?
mom said he-
Same to you.
try and go over there, especially if he's on that sick.
Yeah, you deal with that all the time, yeah. No, you've gotta put a hold on everything.
Yeah, so
Sure.
he's kind of sitting and waiting right now. My mom said before I go to the meeting, I just got in the VA.
Do a virtual meeting or is he on?
He actually called.
Nice.
We're waiting on you, Mr. Linville.
And the doctor was
We're all recording.
You want to close the door, Brian?
Yes.
So he's gonna see him, he's on?
So, yeah.
Good.
So
Where is
it's
his
just,
doctor?
I'm back.
Thanks with the VA.
Okay, gotcha, yeah. Well, that's a little ride, it's not bad.
Did you like it?
Now we can't get out.
We'll be able to go around.
Locked in all
It was a
night.
trick for you
gotta
and
stay
Gloria.
here all- Don't worry, Daddy, we'll get out. Okay, is council ready?
Yep.
Sir.
Everybody good? Ray, you good?
Yes.
All right. Ready, Angela?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to the regular council meeting of the Village of Walton Hills of Tuesday, December 21st, 2021 at 7:50 p.m. Okay. Item 2, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. like to take a moment of silence for our deceased residents, Matthew Danko, Leonard Ayako, Terry Lou, and Geraldine Dushaw, and also for all our service,
You said
active
Terry.
service members.
Did you say Terry Lou? Huh? Ellie, the county of Sylvania?
Thank you, everybody. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Allen?
Here.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller?
Yes.
Councilman Linville?
Present.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Councilwoman Terlasky?
Here,
All of council present, along with our fiscal officer, Angela Reve, and our law solicitor, John Montello.
Huh?
Back there.
He's a nice man, too.
Okay, item 5. Motion to receive and file special and regular council meeting minutes as follows. Item A, special council meeting minutes of June 29, 2021. Is there a motion?
Gloria?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we receive the special council meeting minutes of June 29, 2021.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mary Brenner Miller.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller?
Yes.
Councilman Linville?
Present.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Councilwoman Terlasky?
Yes.
Okay, minutes approved. Thank you, everybody. Item B, special council meeting minutes of October 5th, 2021. Is there a motion?
Mayor Colgraf, members of council, I move that we will receive, adopt, and file special council meeting minutes of October 5, 2021.
Second?
Second by Gloria.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller?
Yes.
Councilman Linville?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Councilwoman Terlasky?
Yes.
Okay, minutes passed.
Um,
Item C.
Mr. Mayor, question
ahead.
first, there is something on these council meeting
The
minutes
5th? Okay. Go ahead.
that I would just like to see included as a clarification point for me.
Go ahead.
It's underneath council comments, the second line where it says Councilwoman Allen also apologizes for a comment. I was actually apologizing to Rob Kalman for a misunderstanding of a comment that I made. So I'd just like that clarification put in there. I can show you
Hold
what
on. Yeah. You're on the 5th, and you said you're in the second.
October 19th.
Oh, 19th, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Before the ones we're coming up to, gotcha. Well, that makes more sense. Okay. Got it, okay. To Rob, so you wanted to say also apologizes to Rob Kalman.
Right, to Rob Kalman for a misunderstanding of a
Yep,
comment that I made.
you got it.
Because the comment wasn't about Laurel Drive. It was about Rob.
You're good.
Is there a motion for those minutes?
Then I would like to make a motion to receive and file the regular council meeting minutes of October 19th, 2021.
Is there a second?
Second?
Second by Gloria.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Renner Miller?
Yes.
Councilman Linville?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Councilwoman Terlasky?
Yes.
Okay, minutes passed. Item D. I'd like to make a motion for those minutes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to file and receive and file the regular council meeting minutes of November 16th, 2021.
Is there a second?
Second.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller?
Yes.
Councilman Linville?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Councilwoman Terlasky?
Yes.
Minutes passed. Thank you, everybody.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Before we move on to the next item of business, I had noticed and was wondering, Angela, we didn't have the October 28th.
We did. We already did them because of the note. So if you remember, we did October 19th special meeting and October 19th regular meeting and October 28th special meeting right away when they were finished because I had to have them for the note to go over to the county. So you've already
The
approved
meeting
them.
minutes?
Yep, you've already done
Okay.
them for the councils. The COWs you had not, that's why they're on here now. But you had already done councils, yes.
Okay. Item 6, persons having business before council. Yes, Mr. Nielsen.
Yes, I'd just like to thank Kenny Linville and Gloria Terlasky for their dedication to our village over all the years. I'm sure we all feel the same. We appreciate the time your effort. Thank you.
Thank you.
He was thanking you.
For your time as a councilman and all your dedication.
Okay, anybody else have anything? We're gonna say something at the end.
Okay.
You're not gonna get off without me being a
This is
little
gonna turn into a-
long-winded, Lori.
a Dean
Okay, I'm
Marshall
gonna make you
Rose.
mad one more time. I know, I'm only kidding.
The Dean Martin Rose.
There you go. Okay, mayor's report, are we good? Anybody live stream?
No one on the live stream?
Every-
You're good?
Residents, good? Okay. So we got the monthly court report for November. For the month of November, total revenue was $15,818.16. Year-to-date was $249,068.14. Last year, year-to-date, $182,233.46.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, could you repeat the monthly number for me?
The monthly was $15,808.16.
Thank you.
So we're up almost $70,000 last year in November at this time. Okay. Now for the police report. For the month of November, the Walton Hills Police Department issued 146 citations in the month of November. The predominant violation was expired plates, with 36 citations, followed by 24 written for speed, and 17 citations for driving under suspension. There was 3 arrests for driving while under the influence of alcohol and
Good,
drugs.
good.
And that's the one we don't like to see. I mean, not that they need to be arrested, but we don't, it's nice when we don't have anybody driving through our village under the influence. Okay, that concludes my report. Item 8, any council comments at this time? Or we can, people want to make comments at the end, we can make it at the end too, Denny.
Okay.
If you want to pass legislation, would that be, related to, okay.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I have to look and see what the date of my, we've had a couple committee meetings, and we're gonna have minutes.
Yeah, I'll get those for you. I have them
Yeah,
from the
we-
transcription company, but I'll backtrack into your agendas and pop them in for you, or I'll have
Yeah,
Mary do
because
it.
those, as you know, we
Yeah.
all know they have to be done timely, so, or in some sort of a timely fashion, so, yeah, it's just, I didn't know
Yeah,
what
they're
what
in there from the
status of-
transcription, so I can have Mary do them. Obviously, for audit purposes, these are the ones I have to focus on,
Sure.
but they're there. I did send them
Yeah.
over, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, they're in.
Yeah, we're trying to make sure they're all wrapped up in place.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes. Jennifer.
Just to let council know that I will be asking for some committee, well, no, I'm ahead of myself right now. Never mind.
Well, you could have asked for the other thing.
That's a
You got time in.
Okay, I would like to ask if there could be some committee hearing, meetings early on in January to deal with some rec department issues that need to be addressed as quickly as possible, like our Parker program and things like that, so whoever the head of that rec committee would be.
Are you
We don't know
volunteering?
yet.
Okay.
Everybody crawl under the dais at once.
Any other, any other council comments before we move on to legislation? Okay. All right, item 9, legislation. Ordinance 2021-20, December 2021 revised 260. Who's going to introduce that, as we talked about?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to introduce for suspension ordinance number 2021-20, an ordinance repealing and replacing chapter 260.18 of the village codified ordinances and declaring an emergency.
Second.
Is there a second? Second by Mr. Linville?
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller?
Yes.
Councilman Linville?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yeah.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Councilwoman Terlasky?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask for adoption of ordinance 2021-20.
Second.
Second by Mr. Linville?
You're ahead of him even.
Yeah.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller?
Yes.
Councilman Linville?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Councilwoman Terlasky?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance passed, 6-0. Thank you, everybody. Item B.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to
Yes.
introduce for suspension, ordinance 2021-21, permanent appropriations for 2020. It's an
Two.
2022, yes. Too many twos. An ordinance to make permanent appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures for the Village of Walton Hills, State of Ohio, during the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2022, and ending December 31st, 2022, and declaring an emergency.
Is there a second?
Second.
Vote on the suspension.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller?
Yes.
Councilman Linville?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Councilwoman Terlasky?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask for the adoption of ordinance 2021-21.
Second.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller?
Yes.
Councilman Linville?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Councilwoman Terlasky?
Yes.
And just to make that, I know you said ordinance 2020, when they're all that, but you want to read the rest of it just to me?
I read the whole thing.
No, first,
She
is
did.
it okay for, for the?
She did.
Okay. No, I'm just saying for approval, she just read it.
Oh.
2021-21, well, the
Oh.
one before that's the same way. Well, it's actually 20, you're right.
Yeah, it's two different
That's me.
numbers.
That's me, getting over. We're good.
Read it again a second time.
Ordinance passed, 6-0. Okay, we have old and new business. For old business, don't have anything. I guess I'll start off, since I have that opportunity being in this chair here. I just want to thank Gloria for her 12 years of service to the village and her dedication. Sitting as a council person right next to Gloria where Mr. Whedon has sat. I know we've had some differences, like all of us on council, and had different opinions and voted different ways. But at the end of the day, we all compromise and agree what's best for the village. And Gloria, you've been the utmost professional through your 12 years. And I just want to commend you on that and thank you on behalf of the village for your 12 years of service. You'll be missed here.
Thank you.
Okay. And we hope you stay active, which I know you will, because you're active in everything you do. Anyways, you're a very active person, and we need your input still. So I just want to thank you. And Mr. Linville, 16 years. And we've been on both sides with each other, and we've been on opposite sides. And I can say as a councilman, you're probably one of the hardest working councilmen that I've ever served with. You were probably one of them, Mr. Spitznagel and Gloria. I think one of the most prepared that ever come to a meeting.
Yep.
You did more research, I think, sometimes than any other council person. So just want to thank you for your service to the village for 16 years, Denny. And I wish you both good luck in whatever you do, and I know you'll enjoy your grandchildren and your families and everything else that
Thank you,
comes with.
Mayor.
I think you'll probably do more, you'll probably work harder, just because that's what a lot of people do when they're, we'll call it semi-retired. But I just want to thank you on behalf of the village.
Thank you.
Did anybody?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Mayor?
oh,
Oh,
well,
I'm sorry.
I
Go ahead,
wanted
lady.
to say, thank you, Gloria. It's been a great pleasure serving with you. And as I said earlier, Denny, he helped me when I first ran. He helped me and he showed me about the absentee ballots, and you gotta go talk to this person and you have to go here. So, he was a great help and, good partner over here sometimes. But, I'll miss you, and thank you for your service.
Thank you. Thank you,
You're welcome.
Mary.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Jennifer.
I'd just like to say to Councilwoman Terlasky and Councilman Linville, it has been a pleasure working with you up here, and I do appreciate the time that you put into the village. And Mr. Linville, I
Thank you.
will not forget my first candidate's night, where you did help me out, and I appreciate that to this day very much.
and the other advice that you've given me over the past 4 years. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I can't say anything more than what already was said. I'd just like to say that, I don't take this sitting in this seat lightly at all. And I just want to say that it's been an honor and a privilege to work with both of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Colgraf, members of council, I also just want to echo what's already been said. Just want to thank Councilman Denny Linville and Councilwoman Gloria Terlowski, both for their service to this village. And I'm the least tenured of all of us. I don't get a chance to serve with you the 16 years or the 12 years or as long as some of the others. But one thing I will always remember is not only just being in here in these council chambers, but I always see you two in the community, and that's what I'm looking forward to, is whether I see Mr. Linville and Duke, out and about on our walks, or Mr. Lowski at the event center with the seniors and whatnot. I'm looking forward to those days where we can still be not necessarily fellow council members, but just good neighbors. And so enjoy your time after council.
Thank you, Ray. Thanks very much.
And you're gonna lose the 2 silver-haired council people now.
I missed my hair appointment yesterday, so we're getting real close.
And I want to thank Denny for his service too, because, as everyone has said, Denny is a well-prepared council person. And Mr. Whedon, I remember with you that you would come to the mornings with the mayor, and I would say to you, why don't you join council? Why don't you run for council? And I'm so glad that you did, because you're such an asset to this council. And to Mr. Fred, don't fall off the edge.
No, this is the girls' side. I'm declaring that right now.
Yeah, you can't sandwich me between that much testosterone up here.
Yeah, but it's been a pleasure and a privilege. I love this village. I've lived here for over 50 years.
Wow.
And I think at that time when my family moved here, I was the youngest homeowner in Walton Hills. And I loved it. I love raising my children here. And it's God's country here. And I love it. And I appreciate all of you do. I think everyone should serve on council and know what it's like. Everybody thinks we're like magicians. We can just do everything. We want to do a lot, but there's things that prevent us from doing it. But we all here because we love the village, and I'm so glad there's going to be a few more Colgraphs running around in February. You're going to be a good grandpa because
Well, thank you.
a good heart, Don. And I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a happy, healthy New Year. And I hope you all put in 12 and 16 years here.
Thank you.
Thank
Keep
you.
us going and growing and doing good for our residents. Thank you all. And I'll see you around. That's right.
You better.
Hey, Mayor, I just have a couple of remarks. First of all, I would like to, again, express my appreciation for the villagers for entrusting me with this responsibility. And they did it 4 times, so I thank them 4 times over. I think we've elected a new person that's going to do very well in Fred Nielsen, because Fred comes to a lot of meetings. He knows a lot of stuff about the village. He's a 36-year resident here and everything. And I would just like to thank my council colleagues up here who I felt have done a really good job, and I've been very proud to sit here with them and work on the village business with them, and just it's very humbling when you think about it, the fact that so many people thought enough of you to support you and vote for you. And I'll always appreciate that for a fact. So again, thank you. And I'm gonna miss it, I have to tell you. So, but it's time for me to go, so thank you.
Thanks.
Well, can I ask for a motion for adjournment?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for adjournment from the regular council meeting of December 21st, 2021.
Is there a second?
Second?
Second by Mr. Linville?
And a second by Gloria.
Tied by Mr.
We had a
Linville.
third.
Vote on the motion.
Councilwoman Allen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brenner Miller,
Yes.
Councilman Linville.
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon.
Yes.
Councilwoman Terlasky.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned at 8:11 PM. Thank you, everybody. Merry Christmas,
Merry
residents.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
everybody.
Christmas, Happy New Year.
Healthy New Year.
Denny, if you wait, Denny, don't go yet. I'm gonna take a picture of you with all your council members, okay?
Just one picture.
Sure.